Welcome to Stony Finance Lab channel.
You just graduated college, and you're about to start your first full-time job. Congrats. What if I told you that with just $115 per week out of your new paycheck, you can reach over $1.3 million by retirement age if you just follow this simple investment strategy? Okay, I know what you might be thinking. You heard me say investment strategy, and you're saying to yourself, I don't know anything about investing. Investing can be really difficult. It can be really scary. With our approach, it doesn't need to be either of those things. When most people hear the term investing, they think of active investing. This means hand-selecting, buying, and selling individual stocks. This requires a lot of analysis and expertise to be successful, and this hands-on approach also requires that either you or somebody else manages your portfolio. That's not to mention that it can be really expensive, and most importantly, it can be really risky. Sure, you might get really lucky, buy a stock at its low, sell it at its high after it skyrockets, and make a ton of money, but most of the time, this is not going to happen. In fact, majority of the time, you are not going to be able to beat the market by hand-selecting stocks. That's where the passive investing strategy comes in. This is a long-term buy and hold approach that typically involves investing in index funds, and because of their broad exposure to the market, doesn't really require portfolio management at all. It also requires very little, if any, knowledge of the stock market, not to mention that the fees are really low. But most importantly, this is low risk. Because a passive investing strategy typically involves buying into index funds and other well-diversified investments, we are exposed to practically the entire market. And if we look at the historical market data, we will see that while the market might experience dips and valleys during certain periods of time, if we maintain a buy and hold approach, it will yield us positive returns in the long run. Our plan requires you to invest $6,000 a year, which comes out to $115 every week. To some people, that might seem like a lot. You might ask, how do I save $115 every week? Let's use some numbers and statistics to show how little this really is. According to the National Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average annual U.S. salary in 2020 was $64,021. So $115 per week, or $6,000 per year, is less than 10% of that average annual salary. To put that into perspective, the average U.S. household spends 10% of their annual income on fast food. That means that the statistically average person is throwing away their retirement on McDonald's. So how can you save $115 per week? Well, the answer is going to vary from person to person, but no matter what, you need to be disciplined. Be smart and intentional about how you spend or don't spend your money, and make saving for your future self a top priority. So far we know that we're going to follow a passive investment strategy, and you need to save $6,000 per year, or $115 per week. What is the result of this? To answer that question, we need to make some assumptions. Some people graduate at different ages than others, and some people retire at different ages than others. In addition, we can't reliably predict the annual returns we'll receive on our investments, so we have to come up with a number that's reasonable. Let's assume that you graduate at 22 years old and retire at 62 years old. That's the age at which you can first start collecting Social Security. This means that you work for 4 years and in total contribute $240,000. Assuming that you receive a 7% average annual return, your investment of $240,000 will be worth over $1.3 million by the time you reach 62. And realistically, 7% is pretty conservative. Chances are you'll earn even more than that. Once you retire, if you stick to a safe withdrawal of 4% annually, this will provide you with over $52,000 per year. Assuming your investments continue to grow at least a rate of 4%, the value of your portfolio will never decrease. In fact, as long as your portfolio is yielding returns at a higher rate than that of which you are withdrawing from it, your portfolio will continue to grow despite the fact that you're taking money out of it, and every year it will provide you with more and more income. This is all thanks to the power of compound interest. Simply put, compound interest is the interest you earn on the interest you've earned on an investment. So for example, if you invest $1,000 in an account that earns interest at a rate of 7% annually, what is the ending balance after 3 years? According to the equation given, the future value will be $1,225.04. So after investing $1,000 and doing nothing with it for 3 years, compound interest has earned you over $225. Pretty sweet, right? Well, what about after 30 years? After 30 years of doing nothing with your initial investment of $1,000, it will be worth $7,612.26. That means that compound interest has multiplied your initial investment by almost 8 times, and that's without any additional contributions. Compound interest allows for your investment to grow without you having to do anything. In our example of investing $6,000 annually over 40 years and receiving 7% average annual returns, as you can see in this graph, starting out at the age of 22 with nothing, you will reach the age of 62 with about $1.3 million. So, we know that we'll follow a passive investment strategy, and we know that $115 a week can provide us with $1.3 million or more in retirement. We also know that compound interest will do most of the work for us. But how do we actually do this? Here's the plan. First, you need to open a Roth IRA. You can open a Roth IRA online with pretty much any financial institution out there. A great one to pick would be Vanguard. Step 2 is to invest 100% of the maximum yearly contribution limit, that's $6,000, in a total market fund, the S&P 500, until you retire. A great fund to choose would be the Vanguard 500 Index Fund. And that's it. Time and compound interest will do the rest of the work for you. What is a Roth IRA, and why are we telling you you need to open one? A Roth IRA is a type of individual retirement account that allows you to pay no taxes when you withdraw, assuming that you withdraw from it when you're age 59 and a half or older. In addition to that, the earnings are tax-free. So in our example, you've invested $240,000. In the end, you wound up with over $1.3 million. That's a growth of over $1 million, and not a single penny of that is taxed. In addition, there's no required minimum distributions, meaning that there are no rules that state when you reach a certain age, you must start withdrawing from it. You can leave the money in your Roth IRA and let it continue to grow forever. As an added bonus, heirs can also withdraw your money tax-free. You might ask, is it really a great idea to invest 100% of my money in the S&P 500? Don't take it from us. Take it from Warren Buffett. In 2020, he stated, for most people, the best thing to do is to own the S&P 500 index fund. This is a sentiment that he has shared for decades. If you take a look at the graph below, again, you can see that historically, the S&P 500 has experienced dips and valleys, but overall it has grown. This makes it a great long-term investment with relatively low risk. What if you want to invest outside of a Roth IRA? This could be the case for a number of reasons. One of those might be that you've surpassed your annual income limit. In 2022, if you're married filing jointly and make more than $204,000 a year, you can't contribute to a Roth IRA. Likewise, if you're single and make more than $129,000 a year, you're not eligible either. An alternative would be to open a traditional IRA. With a traditional IRA, there are no income limits. It's also taxed differently. You save on taxes now and pay taxes when you withdraw. However, the contribution limit is still set at $6,000 per year. So, let's say that you've already invested $6,000 in an IRA. Whether that's a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, it doesn't matter. You want to invest more because you make a decent amount of money. There's no reason why you can't just open a regular brokerage account and follow the same principles that we've laid out in this presentation. With a regular brokerage account, there are no limits. The downside, however, is that capital gains are taxed. The interest you earn every year will be taxed every year. Here are some mistakes to avoid and principles for success. First, don't wait. Start investing in your retirement as soon as you can. Time is your friend. Make sure you invest the full contribution amount. Every little bit matters, so don't leave anything on the table. Do not, under any circumstances, give in to the temptation to withdraw until you retire. Think long term. Don't let market tips scare you. You can trust the historical data. Finally, take advantage of catch-up contributions. If you are over 50, the contribution limit is raised to $7,000 annually. To reiterate the point that you should start investing for retirement as soon as you can, I'd like to present you with 3 different scenarios. The first is that you start this plan now, leaving you with $1.3 million by retirement age. The second scenario is that you wait to start this plan for 10 years. You contribute for the next 30, but by retirement, you have just over $600,000. The third scenario is quite shocking. If you start this plan now, contribute for 10 years, and never contribute a penny for 30 years after that, you will have over $720,000 by retirement age. The key here is that you need to start as soon as you can. Here are some key takeaways. Investing doesn't have to be difficult or scary, and anybody can follow this plan. It just requires that you're disciplined. Successful investing doesn't require luck or expertise, you just have to stick to the plan. Consistency is the key to success. Don't treat the stock market like a casino. Investing in the S&P 500 is a safe long-term strategy, and consistent contributions to a Roth IRA can provide for a comfortable retirement. Finally, the best time to start investing was yesterday.
Thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.